All right, hi everyone. It's 12 o'clock. We're just gonna get started in a few minutes. If you just came in, please definitely get you some pizza around the corner here. So yeah, we're gonna get started in a few minutes.
Everyone's found this. And like, from where?
All your folks should have already.
I think they out is we're looking for yes, I did get a look at that. They have like haunted houses. I'm not that's why I needed. You can just Spotify app. All I get is bushy purpose. Like, let's go in. Hey, I'm Brandon. Hey, Brandon. Nice to meet you. Oh, Alex. That's really. Oh, yeah. We're just talking about other things.
I don't have to touch.
Hey,
Just know it's.
Yeah, actually, I talked to, you might be.
I have enough. Smash.
Yeah, what are they gonna like? I applied to like sort of special. Last year, it's.
Don't talk, that guy's all talk.
No, don't listen to them right now. I had to get all.
Like.
Last?
They're like, oh, we're leaving. I try all now.
Well,
No.
like,
I think I'm.
that's in the paper.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of sense. Nice sense. I love how they Jackson.
Oh,
Yeah. They asked.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's like those, like,
I guess.
the
fact
oh, they did it.
I don't know, I've always just drove there, I haven't got.
Have you been doing the game? I think it's like really early now. You got it.
Let me know, I'll do it.
How would we know they do? Okay. Like, I don't know, signed a game with about. Feel like you've been talking. I feel like. I don't know. Yeah. Let's switch these. Seems I would have been like, took it long. So much like. But no. Yeah, it is. That's good. Like, I think I did a lot better.
Design your dog, I think it's awesome.
I think it did start. I think everyone there is.
They're gone. It like. I don't have to say. You get busy. I don't have to.
But I don't.
Basically, to know.
I'm just trying to.
So, it's like, I guess,
I like We're like.
There's one grass.
Not really. I feel like with stuff like that. It's kind of the main thing.
Yeah. Again, so. It's not like.
All right, I'm gonna get everybody's attention, please. If you are still grabbing pizza, go ahead and keep grabbing your pizza. We're gonna get started right now. Hello, guys. My name is Justin. I'm a student partner here at the and I want to welcome everybody to our first semester rocket pitch. So, let's get started. There we go. So what is a hub event without a check-in QR? So if you haven't checked in already, please scan this QR to check in. Checking in will give you credit for being here today and gives us engagement insight so we can continue making our programming the best it can be. Just by checking in today, you'll instantly earn 400 points, which is enough to grab a snack. Let me just tell you. Your points balance grows each time you engage with us, whether it is a rocket pitch event or any type of event we have. Our offerings we have throughout the semester. Every single thing you scan a QR for, you usually will get some type of points to it. Grabbing hot desks, for example, meeting with your mentor, things like that. These points are redeemable for awesome swag like t-shirts and even some other fun perks like space reservations or even extended hours once you hit a certain point. So if you needed a place to come in at night to do work, this will be a great place. If you already checked in today, scanned the QR, filled everything out, you will be entered into our swag giveaway. And now the announcement will be at the very end, right after our voting period that happens. Don't worry, this is not the last chance you'll be winning anything. At the end of the semester, the hub's most engaged members will have an exclusive gathering at President Rowe's house to express your ideas and just have a nice dinner with President Rowe. So, all right, not seeing any phones. I'm assuming everybody has scanned the QR. And this clicker does not want to work with them. There we go. All right, so I'm going to explain how the rocket pitch works. Each pitcher has 3 to 4 minutes. This is a competition, so I will stop you at the end of 4 minutes. All the pitchers, if you see Emily on the side here, she's waving. She will have a a yellow sign that says you have 1 minute left, and then another one that says stop. That's a hard stop, so whatever you're saying, you just stop there when she raises that sign. Each pitcher must address these 5 aspects for a good pitch. Number 1, the problem. 2, market. 3, competitive landscape. The solution and their overall delivery of their pitch. After their 4 minutes, they get another 4 minutes of questions from you guys. So if you guys have any questions, just raise your hand and then there will be a throwable mic being tossed around. So please wait for the mic to get into your hands so that when you answer the question, the people on Zoom can also hear your question. If anybody is on Zoom today, you can also just put your questions in the chat. We'll have somebody who moderates that as well as we get going. So for the winner that wins the rocket pitch today gets 800 points. And then an entry to pitch on our semester demo day, which is a pitch also against every single winner of the semester. So let's get ready to rock it. Let's bring up our first pitcher. Backdated.
Yo. Stack is the next generation of dating, built on ranked choice mechanics, designed to introduce friction first, and created to convert intent into real revenue and real connections. Whereas current dating apps trap people in an endless cycle of swiping, Stack brings focus, intention, and smarter matching. Now, the current dating app crisis is that there's 400 million users around the world on these apps, but satisfaction is at an all-time low, with 75% of users reporting emotional fatigue and swiping burnout, and Tinder and Bumble, major ground leaders, losing ground. Tinder having lost paid users for 8 consecutive quarters, and Bumble having recently laid off a huge swath of their workforce. While the $12.9 billion market grows to well over $17 billion in the next 5 years, it is clear that users are looking for something better and dating apps aren't going anywhere. So the market timing couldn't be better. Gen Z, the fastest growing segment, is showing a fatigue with the swiping mechanic, and they're looking for a more curated, lower noise experience. Stack introduces more matches with some friction by allowing users to link their preferences instead of wasting away on swipes. This creates a larger, more intentional discovery funnel, and in the countless of interviews I've conducted with Gen Z singles, couples, boys, girls over the last few months, it is very clear that there is a resonance for an experience that's more intentional and less random. So, how does Stack work? Every day, you receive 9 to 12 profiles that you categorize into 3 different slots. Now, your top 3 picks. Later, which is your soft interest, and your pass, your definitive no. Once the deck locks up, matches occur when there's any sort of mutual interest or residual interest. It is simple and it is game changing. It keeps the superficiality of dating apps, but it goes about it in a way no other app has ever done before. I filed a patent over the summer, I've lined up developers, I've mapped everything out, I hold the domain, and everything is ready to go. So why does Stack work? Stack flips the script. It forces clarity instead of, again, wasting away on swipes, and it drives more matches and reduces fatigue. Makes the experience more intentional and far more rewarding for users. Dare say you'll be less frugal with a soft interest option than you would with 8 free right swipes a day on something like Hinge. You want more matches, Stack is how you do it. There's 3 major competitive advantages that come from this model. First, high value data. Because you're ranking preferences ordinally, not just yes, no, left, right, binary swiping, this enables smarter matchmaking and better user preference targeting. 2, there's a built-in monetization model like you'll never see anywhere else. Sure, you still have your super likes and your super boosts and all these charged features, but you also have things like extra slots and insights that you can't find in other models. Lastly, the model is defensible. Competitors can't adopt such a thing without cannibalizing their own swiping mechanic, which they've been piggybacking off of Tinder for the last decade. So the go-to strategy is you launch on campuses, pubs, places where there's a lot of people because these apps are built on proximity of users. Going on TikTok, Instagram, ads around taste, and showcasing Stack as an app of intentionality. But then you have a retention loop. You have your daily decks, your recaps, and your personalized insights, making the app equally addictive for the creators, like how a YouTube studio or an Instagram creator page makes it equally addictive and creates a retention loop. Now, Stack is designed to monetize naturally with a $10 a month ARPPU target at about a 12% premium conversion. This is comparable to Hinge's $8 to $12 range, and the economics mirror industry leaders today. These are lowball numbers, and while you still have your premium features, your rewinds, your priority slots, your taste insights, which users are happy to pay for, it keeps the core experience free and engaging. The goal is 200,000 users in the first year. Hinge had about 100,000 monthly active users in 2016 when they pivoted to the prompt-based design, and apps you've never even heard of, like Snap, which was a video-first Gen Z dating app, had about 250,000 users in the first year due to TikTok virality. Another app, Locks Club, which was a more niche, Jewish-focused dating app, had about 100,000 users signed up on the waitlist without real major spend. People want to be on these apps, and these apps aren't going anywhere. Now, with 200,000 users and at these numbers, you're looking at $3.2 to $3.6 million in the first year of almost pure revenue, and it could easily be 3 times more of that because these are just base subscription model numbers. Indeed, these apps are making millions of dollars a month. And with that in mind, my call to action comes down to this. I need pre-seed funding to launch the MVP and go to market and then final launch. Thank you.
All right, we'll do 4 minutes of questions. Any questions?
Any questions from the audience? I'm gonna throw the mic at you.
Literally.
Thanks for your pitch. Maybe I missed this in the beginning, but what kind of customer discovery work have you done? What has been your interaction with possible customers? What have you heard from them?
Yes, thank you. So one thing I did mention, if I go back a little more. If I go back, I'll find it. I did conduct countless interviews with Gen Z couples, singles, boys and girls, and I've discussed this concept in detail even before I had filed a patent over the summer on the core mechanic. And again, there is a very clear resonance, even avoiding this macro data. Even without this macro data, there is a clear resonance for the idea of a dating app that seems more intentional and less random. And things like those taste insights makes the app seem more on your side. So with that in mind, it stands out completely different from any other dating app. And currently, once I have that MVP up, I'm able to very easily start building that wait list. And with that, like these other dating apps which build wait lists, you're able to start monetizing properly. Thank you.
I want to know if you did your competitor analysis very well, and if your competitors don't already have these things, if you have the market already and you have something unique, they could easily integrate it and still make a market. So how did you go with, competitor analysis?
Yes, so besides the patent itself on the core mechanic, competitors couldn't dream of adopting such a concept because it cannibalizes their own swipe mechanic. They've been using the swipe mechanic since the last decade when Tinder introduced it well over 10 years ago now. And no other real dating app is doing anything different. They aim more niche or they try to add something else. And so a good example is the app like Duet. What they've done is they're now number 4 in dating apps. They're making millions a month. And they're still using the same swipe mechanic. They're just like Tinder. But what they've done is they give you a higher free ceiling on free swipes. And now you get more likes, you get more matches. And by doing that, that's what they paywall. They tell you, you want to see who liked you, you want to see who matched with you. That's what you pay for. But there's nobody really doing anything different in the actual core mechanic. And that's why you're not going to really get away from this number of emotional fatigue and swipe burnout unless you pivot to something different.
At the end, you snuck in seed.
Yeah.
My question is on financials. So what is the seed request? Like, what is the amount? So part 1, part 2 is from time 0 to MVP, how much time is that? And then the pay, what would be your break even point, and then return on investment from MVP to break even? What do you see there?
Those are great questions. Yes. So I'm currently in talks right now in procuring some sort of pre-seed funding. Most of it goes to marketing, but that comes post MVP. A lot of this comes from just getting the basic model up. Now, with that in mind, I've already lined up developers, and again, I have everything fully mapped out, and that takes maybe another 7 to 8 weeks to get that up. And then you can actually begin proper launch and marketing. The number that I've been thumbing, that I've been going around to different events in Manhattan over the summer doing, was about 95K for 3%, which is a very reasonable model because these apps make many million, again, up to low 8 figures in their first years. Shocking how much money is in the industry, and it's a very lucrative industry. You'll never find an app with conversions of 12% people paying $15 a week, $20 a week. But anyway, thank you very much. So once that's up and I have that funding, I'm able to start moving forward with bigger launch.
We have time for one more question. I see Jack's hand half raised, full raise, Jack.
I just wanted to see the box. No. So I agree with a lot of the pain points you mentioned about dating apps, but I mean, me personally, maybe it's different for people in the audience. I associate those not just with Tinder or specific bad practices and only giving you a limited number of likes or whatever it might be. I kind of just associate that with dating apps as a medium on the whole. So say it's 3, 4, however many years from now, this is a fully realized platform and I download it. What is the biggest difference that I would see as a user of the app immediately compared to Tinder, Bumble, whatever it might be?
The first thing is immediately more matches. Like, and I gave that example earlier, Duet, which is shot up because they give a higher ceiling on free swipes And then, you're gonna get more matches, more likes, more views, and that's what they paywall. These apps, you're very right, are so lucrative in how they paywall all the info, all the likes. You have to pay $10 for a boost that works for 1 hour. It's shocking. The first thing you'd see on something like Stack is you'll get more likes, you'll get more views because you have this soft interest third option. So that's the first thing. You're getting not just the nows, but also the laters. And whenever there's any sort of residual interest or mutual interest, that's a match. The other thing is you're going to get better user targeting because it's ordinal data. You're not going left, right, you're going in these 3 categories. So you're going to find more people that are more appealing to you, that suit you, people you can match with and you'll like, and you're going to have a much better time on Stack than any other dating app.
Awesome. For the questions, thank you so much. These are rest stops.
Hey guys. I just want to thank the Entrepreneurship Center for putting on such an awesome event. I'm so grateful to be here and I'm so psyched to show you guys what I've been working on. So we can get into it. How many of you guys have ever worked in a restaurant? I'm seeing a lot of hands, and that makes sense because about 2/3 of Americans have worked in a restaurant in their lives. And yeah, there are a lot of problems with restaurants, as I'm sure people that have worked in restaurants are aware. A lot of those problems come from customer dissatisfaction, which can be stemmed, I think, from operational inefficiency and untapped analytics. First, for people who've worked in a restaurant, one of the biggest complaints that I have heard and my managers have heard is that the wait times are just either inaccurate or too long. How many of you guys can relate to that have worked in restaurants? I'm seeing a lot of nods. How many of you guys have worked either Resi or Open Table? Yep. So I'm sure you're familiar with that. We've got inefficient staffing, suboptimal table management, unpersonalized customer experience, and lack of data-driven consumer insights, which I really want to nail on. That's exactly what I'm trying to do with rest stops, is nail in those customer insights, because that is something that does not exist in the hospitality industry at all. Not anything that's optimal, at least. So when I'm pitching this idea, by using data that is already being collected by apps like Resi and Open Table, we're seeing wait times are being collected, total bill, tips, all of that data is being collected. It's there already, but it's not being optimized in a way where we're putting our high volatile consumers in situations where they can be maximizing profits for the restaurant. So when I was first pitching this idea, the first question I get is like, would this actually work? I argue absolutely. So the restaurant that I worked in over the summer, that I worked in for years, is 300 covers a night. We're getting 300 people a night. And I ran some numbers, and with short staffing, poor seating, on the conservative end, we're losing out on almost $700K a year for a single restaurant. Alternatively, if we're open every single night, that number shoots up to nearly $850K. That is a lot of money, and that is only for one restaurant. So, let's talk about the total accessible market. Restaurant industry is one of the biggest industries in America. As I mentioned, it is the second largest hiring agency or hiring industry in the nation, first off. And the market cap is expected to hit 1.5 trillion. That's something that a lot of people don't know. Yeah, the target market, we're targeting mid to large independent restaurants. Market competition, as I mentioned before, Resi, Open Table, and then other CRM competitors like Salesforce and yeah. So how does restaurants differentiate itself from Resi or Open Table? Accurate Six Sigma forecasting. I really want to implement what's already being implemented in cybersecurity to the hospitality industry. Progression in time series forecasting. We want to take that historical data that's already being collected from our customers and then implementing it into algorithms that can spit out like who are these highly volatile customers because that's about a third of the market that we're seeing. Who are those people? Identifying the heterogeneity in customers and improving our CRM capabilities so that people actually come back. Restaurant managers have a huge responsibility of finding customer loyalty, and they're not there all the time. You know what's there all the time? The program. And so by using these machine learning algorithms and AI optimization, and Six Sigma forecasting, we really want to be putting everybody in all of your customers. We want to be maximizing the customer experiences. That's first and foremost. And as for delivery, I am not entirely sure on how I want to deliver this product. There are two options that I'm thinking of. One is I could create my own platform, but since so many restaurants are already on Resi or OpenTable, that's a little bit iffy. However, a lot of these platforms are already kind of open source. So because of that, I could create my own implementation that can be added on to Resi or OpenTable. Thank you guys so much for listening. Sorry, that was a little bit.
So we'll do 4 minutes of questions from the audience.
I want to say before I ask my question, you were amazing.
Oh, thank you. I was really nervous.
No, you're good. So my question, you all mentioned that about the total addressable market, like TAM, and it's a huge. What do you think of SAM and SOM, like what serviceable address market, and SOM is like a serviceable obtain market? Who are your real customer and who are gonna be like interested in your product?
Absolutely. I thank you for asking that question. That's something that I glazed over a lot in my presentation. So my primary target are these mid to large independent restaurants and small chains, and we're looking at upscale casual dining. And that is about a quarter of that market cap. So we're looking at about 2 billion. My secondary target are these high traffic chain restaurants like Applebee's, Ruby Tuesday, Outback, Robin, etc. And then a tertiary target that I'm not entirely sold on, but we can branch out into another industry with cruise lines, hotels, using these algorithms for enhancing customer experience and driving revenue.
Thank you.
Okay. Sounds like you're starting really big. Have you considered what it would look like if you focus on small restaurants, build your platform, and then scale up from that?
Absolutely, I have. I've already been in conversation with the people that I have worked with in like several restaurants that I've worked in. I've been a server, I've been a host, I've been a bartender, and so I have very close relationships with my managers. Like they're almost more like family friends. And so as for like a stage 1 launch, I would be launching in like my family friends restaurants. If that answers your question, is that kind of?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, okay, fantastic.
Thanks. Hi, great presentation.
Thank you.
My problem is I don't know how much it costs, how much the other platforms cost, and where you fit into that competition. And the other thing is, I'm not exactly sure how you're going to get data from customers to.
Oh, how you get data from customers?
Yes.
Oh, I can answer that question. We'll send. Yeah, absolutely. So as a host, I was like a 17-year-old girl. One of my main responsibilities was taking data from customers. So I would walk around to every single table. I'd check in on them. I'd see, where are you in your restaurant? Where are you in your meal? Are you on your appetizer? Are you like almost done? So that's taking the time variable, right? And then another thing that the wait staff is responsible for is inputting the costs of the meal, when they're ordering things, how long it takes out. These data are already being tracked by Resi and OpenTable. My point is that they're not being used, that the algorithms are not using this data to optimize where people are sitting in the environment that they're in to drive revenue. So the answer is that the data is already being collected. That was in my job description as a 17-year-old girl. And the other aspect to your question, how much things cost, the Resi and OpenTable are both subscriptive services. So they cost depending on your package, between 70 to upwards to 250 per year. My service, I'm not entirely sure how much, where it would fit in, but it's probably somewhere within that budget per month. And then if I go with my second option of implementing the service into Resio Open Table, I could build something and sell it to them. So my team is really like on the beginning of our development journey. We're still getting the algorithms going and like figuring out what that looks like. But with a go-to-market strategy, that is what it would be, like either selling to Resi or Open Table or creating my own service. That would be subscriptive.
All right, so that'll be all the questions. Thank you so much. And last but not least, let's bring up F Sheep with Quant Edge Global Private Limited.
Perfect. So Quantis Global Private Limited is a well-established company. It has been incorporated like 3 months back, and we have already served around 40 customers. And to talk about what it does is like it is a consulting companies that provide services to the small and medium companies that has an employee strength of less than 50. So currently the problem in the market is like all the Fortune 500 or Fortune 1000 companies reach out to McKinsey, Bain, BCG, and Big Four like Accenture, Deloitte, PwC, KPMG to get the consulting services. But for the small companies, they don't have anyone. They cannot reach out to McKinsey, Bain, BCG because of the price. They cannot afford these big companies, or they cannot reach out to Big Four either, like PwC, Accenture, or Deloitte, or KPMG. So what happens to the small companies is like they get going without any consulting services, without any informed decision on their data, on their customers, or how to make informed decisions. So what we have been providing to these small companies is like we are 3 co-founders that have background of engineering and MBA, and we have been providing data analysis and consulting services to these small companies on much inexpensive or cheaper rate than these big 4 companies can provide. So we have been providing okay. Slide. Is it working? So yeah, these are the services we have been providing to these small, less than 50 employees companies, be it market insight, be it the software they need. So sometimes they don't even operate with the CRM software, the customer relationship management software, like Salesforce, ERP, that manages their inventories, resources, and they continue on processing that without these softwares. And we provide this SaaS software to these small companies. So what makes us different is like we have already served more than 100 customers with revenue of almost around $120,000. And we have been growing almost like 20% month to month. So there is a huge demand in the market. Like literally the small companies which are not able to get services from PwC or Big Four are approaching us to do their consulting services and data analysis services. They have less employees to do that. So we have been providing that. So the revenue model is we are charging around $5,000 to $20,000 each customers we serve. So let's say any small companies that come to us, we try to understand their business model and we see like how much charges we can take on. Based on that, we serve around $5,000 to $20,000. So how we are reaching out to get the customers in our hand is like we are using LinkedIn Sales Navigator. We are just filter out the companies which are lesser than 11 to 50 companies employed in, and we reach out to them with a warm message or a cold message, and then on we go on to convert them into our customers. The current lead to customers conversion rate is around 3%. That means like out of 100 people we reach out, we get converted 3 customers and we serve them and we get a revenue of around $15,000 from these customers. And the financial outlook, if I say about, so we are targeting around $200,000 in the next year with customers serving more than 100. And the budget we are asking for this pitch is around $70,000. That I know that we cannot raise it from this pitch, but still, if someone has that much of money, do reach out to me. So this is the key takeaway. So companies we have been serving, the path very clear, and we are very sure that that companies go on to become $1 million company in near future, 1 or 2 years. And this ends our presentation, I suppose.
We'll do 4 minutes of questions.
Give me a reference any slide.
Thank you, Abhishek, for your presentation. I would like to ask, what do you do that make you able to deploy cheaper versus other companies?
Right.
If it's like a cost thing, or if it's like you're just us.
Yeah, so just to make ourselves differentiated by big four like PwC, KPMG, Deloitte, they have like huge employee numbers, so they have to pay their salaries. And we are just like a student, we take whatever we can, so that's one thing, that differentiates us. And all the founders here are like a student currently, not doing the full-time job or associated to full-time to this company. Later on, we plan to be like full-time employee for this company, working for this company only. Then the price will go higher, but for currently to get more customers in, we can provide at a much cheaper rate. And also the employee we have been hiring are the part-time only, and we charge around $12 per hour. We give around $12 per hour to the students who are working for us, and we charge around $50 per hour from the customers who gives us the work. So that gives us around $40 margin per each hour. Yeah, that's how we are processed.
So my next question is, what is unique about your approach to things? How is it innovative? Is it because you're specifically targeting hiring MBAs or students to work, or what's the differentiator?
Yeah, makes sense. So the company we are reaching out is like the prospect we are reaching out is manufacturing industries. They don't have much of knowledge about AI and data-driven technology like Salesforce or CRM software, and they cannot themselves build a Salesforce or license Salesforce because Salesforce licensing is like too expensive for these small manufacturing companies. So we provide a software. We build a software. We have a team of tech company that build a software for each individual client we get, and that makes the licensing very cheaper, and that's how we are functioning. Make sense? Yeah.
Downtown.
Okay. No, I think I know I played American football, so I don't believe you. So those competitors you mentioned, KPMG, Deloitte, etc., they're able to charge a premium because of high credibility. For better or for worse, people believe that they know things.
Right.
So why do your clients believe that you know things?
Yeah.
And how do you scale that over time?
So that's one reason, that's one question I get asked also when we hire people or we, try to get more customers. So they don't trust the company, but they trust our background. And our background given from MBA from William and Mary, and I myself have worked like 6-7 years in manufacturing industry. and has built the business from zero to $100 million company. So they look at our founder or people who are working in the company background, and then how they start trusting us. Yeah, the company is not that well marketed, or company has not that much of value or brand value created yet, but we have our own face value, and that's how they start believing on us and trusting us. Yep.
We have time for one more question.
Oh, he just said like he's gonna grill us. Okay, go on.
You're speaking my heart here, 'cause I make terrible non-data driven decisions. Can you speak to any of the results from your consulting projects for your
Yeah.
clients?
Perfect. So there was a manufacturing company who were making equipments for bicycles, and they were supplying to a couple of big bicycle manufacturers, and they didn't know that their raw material can also be used for making valves. That is another final good products. So we had to look into the raw materials of there and see like how much inventories they get, by all data driven, and whether their excess inventory can be used for making another good products that can increase their customers number or customers growth. And that's how we make a data driven company. So that's a real case we have already served in the past, like making them more data driven informed decision. Yep.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's give him applause. All right. Now let's vote. So here's the voting QR. Please scan this QR to vote for the rocket pitch today. On the voting itself, you'll see like listed 1 through 4. So you can access like which picture is which through the slides up here, and then you'll just basically vote on if they hit on certain aspects of the pitch or not. So we'll give you guys something to vote. Really quiet. Yep. All right, we'll give you guys 1 more minute.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, you guys are finishing up on those last what questions? Let's announce the giveaway first. So let's see who won the giveaway. Let's do a drum roll. Roll for giveaway. You cannot get no. Kyle Literal. Kyle Literal.
All right.
We go into the road.
Take it. Come here for free. He did. I got a shirt.
T-shirt and chicken nuggets. If the size don't fit, you can come to me.
What I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm a loyal customer now.
Yeah, of course. Coming back, you might keep winning. All right, and we'll get into some little announcements. Oh, never mind. We're gonna go in the winner first. So let's do another drum roll for the winner, please. When the winner is Rian, no spectating. Then we say after, and then we'll get you a picture, and then for social media purpose. But yeah, so. Thank you, everybody, for coming today. There'll be more events throughout the semester. Sorry about that. There'll be more events throughout the semester. Next week, we'll have topic talk next week, same time, same place. So thank you guys for being here today. Congrats, Rian, for winning today again. And then if you guys haven't gotten pizza yet, pizza around the corner, tons of pizza. Please grab some, and thank you guys again for coming out.